Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining Avid's virtual journey to the IP-based future of Ingest and Playout. Today, we're going to be talking to Martin Appleton, Product Manager for Video Servers and Graphics, and Mr. Craig Wilson, the Product Evangelist for Video and Media. My name is Delia Noor, and I'm Director of Solution Marketing here at Avid. Just a little bit about our agenda today. We're going to talk a little bit about Avid Streamio, learn what it is, discover how it meets the demands of SDI and IP-based productions now and in the future. Craig will give us a short demo of Avid Streamio, and this will be followed by a question and answers. Just to remind us all, there's a Q&A button on the bottom of the screen, and you're welcome to submit your question. So let's begin. Martin, please talk to us a little bit about what is Avid Streamio.
Thank you, Delia. So Avid Streamio is a software-based server solution to address all the broadcasters' ingest and playout needs. We're supporting off-the-shelf hardware that we've certified that gives customers the flexibility to buy the hardware that suits their needs and budget. Now, we support on the all common media transmission protocols, so that's SDI, baseband SDI, 2110, so video over IP, and also compressed IP streams, including SRT and RTMP. So customers can really choose to start with the kind of hardware that they need for their productions now, which might be SDI based, and then switch to 2110 when they're ready to make that transition. Now, the platform can also combine, let's say, SDI and SRT in the same box. So you can mix and match your ingest needs on the same platform. So it's a very flexible solution that can be used from like 2-channel setups all the way up to 8-channel setups on the different hardware.
Fantastic. So we can just get into a little bit more detail about some of the key features in Avid Streamio.
Sure. So as I just mentioned, we've got a flexible channel configuration. So whether you need a 2-channel server, 4 or 8 channels, you can have this combination on the hardware that we've certified. You have the option of SDI, 2110, and SRT, and you can freely transition between these on the same hardware. You just need to change the video I/O interface to do this. We also have clean and dirty feeds available over NDI, so you can have this available within the gallery without using up outputs from your system. Now, one of the big strengths that we have is we can have this mix of codecs and resolutions on each channel. We're not limiting you to each system has to work with a specific codec and resolution. You can have a mix and match on there as well, according to what you need. We have like very good file I/O interfaces as well. So we have an embedded Nexus client for moving the content into your Nexus. We have op-atom export, op1a import export as well. From a control perspective, we have a range of ways to control Streamio. So on the ingest side, we support the older MediaCentral capture as well as the newer MediaCentral acquire. There's a built-in web remote console there as well. So this can be used to manage your ingest and playout. And you can also work with MediaCentral Command, which many of our customers are still using with existing products like AirSpeed and FastServe. So it offers a very smooth transition from by maintaining an environment that the customer's already familiar with while changing the server underneath. And through third-party support, we can also offer GPI and VDCP support. So if you have like a separate device that should control Streamio, you can control it this way. We're supporting center playback, play while transfer within this environment. We also have edit while capture, and we'll get into that a little bit later as well, because we're supporting not only Avid products like Media Composer, but also Premiere as well from Adobe. We have a closed caption support for both ingest and playout.
Okay, great, thank you. So before we talk a little bit about what is in the coming 24.10 release, I thought it'd be nice if we can see a short clip.
SDI, IP, compressed IP, a trio of protocols at the heart of ingest and playout, and now with Avid Streamio, an ingest and playout solution which covers them all. SDI remains the backbone of many installations, but the industry is on a journey to IP. What is required are solutions to help broadcasters progress to their destination. With support for SDI since the launch in 2023 and a growing range of options, including 2, 4 and 8 channel configurations, more codecs and formats including UHD and built-in playlists, Avid Streamio has already been adopted by customers across the globe. Now with the 2024.10 release, the software-based Avid Streamio becomes even more powerful. Support for uncompressed video over IP based on the SMPTE 2110 protocol has been added, as has support for compressed IP streams such as SRT and RTMP. Easy to set up routing templates simplify the whole process of both ingest and playout. There's also a new format with DNX HD 1080p50 and 5994, and additional hardware options with qualification of Supermicro servers, in addition to the existing qualifications for Dell and HP. Avid Streamio already includes the creation of playlists, creating ingest templates to predefine recordings, integration with Avid's control applications like MediaCentral Acquire, Capture and Command, plus integration with third-party devices and much more. Enabling the industry to make the transition from SDI to IP, Avid Streamio continues to advance.
Great. So, Martin, if you can take us through what are we going to see in the coming 24.10 release?
Yes, thank you. So one of the key features that we're enabling in 24.10 is support for SMPTE 2110 protocols. We've seen the industry gradually moving over from SDI to IP over the last 8 or so years, and this is starting to snowball now. So we're using the NVIDIA Connect exports to provide off-the-shelf IP solutions for servers. And what's really good about this is that customers can start now with SDI, and when they are ready, they can switch to IP infrastructure by replacing the boards in their server, and without needing to change the software version that they're running or any of the licensing or anything like this. They simply switch over, change the profile to 2110, and they're ready to go. And 2110 is something that's going to keep growing over time. There are more standards being added, and we're going to continue to add these to Streamio as they become accepted and certified within the industry. And that's one of the big advantages that we have with this software-based product, that we can keep expanding and making these changes without customers having to reinvest in hardware over time. We're enabling SRT and RTMP ingest and playout. We already have a product called MediaCentral Stream, which is offering SRT and RTMP, but it doesn't offer any of the other features that Streamio has. So we also wanted to offer customers that are already using MediaCentral Stream a way of moving on to Streamio, so they can always be using the latest and greatest features that we have. So MediaCentral Stream customers will be able to switch to Streamio this year and continue to work with SRT and RTMP, but also existing Streamio customers also get access to this as well. So now they'll be able to ingest and play out compressed feeds as well as either SDI or IP. We had a few requests from customers to expand the DNX HD profiles that we were supporting, and we saw that we'd actually missed one of them in the last release, so we'll be adding 1080p 50 and 5994. As we also want to expand the hardware options that customers have when they're purchasing the hardware and give them, some markets have access to more other vendors than we're already supporting. So we've been working with Supermicro to also certify 2 different flavors of their hardware, so that customers also have additional options when choosing hardware. They can match the hardware to their budget, and also what might be available more readily in their market. Now we have a product called FastServe, and we launched a second generation of hardware at the start of 2023. And we also want to give customers that are on this version of the hardware the possibility to migrate to Streamio as well, so they can start to enjoy some of the features that are available there. So we're also certifying the existing FastServe Gen 2 hardware so that it can work with Streamio. So customers that choose to can move away from FastServe when they're ready and also use Streamio as well. And finally, part of Avid's ongoing approach to improving security and stability on the platform, we're carrying out a host of OS updates, and we're going to keep doing these. Generally, we don't call them out in the release. It's something that we do as a standard. But it's important to note that every release, we're making these improvements. We're not just adding new features, we're also addressing the platform that the software is running on and making sure that they're working the best that they can and that they're conforming to modern IT security requirements.
Fantastic. So now Craig will be giving us a short demo of Avid Streamio.
So thanks a lot, Dahlia, and hi everybody. My name's Craig Wilson. I'm the product evangelist for video and media here at Avid. And I'm going to give you a quick demo of Avid Streamio and talk a little bit about some of the new capabilities which we have. So Avid Streamio comes in a range of different configurations. Here, I'm actually looking at an 8-channel system. And in this case, I've got 4 inputs and 4 outputs, but those 8 channels are entirely configurable. You could have all 8 as ingest channels, all 8 as playout channels, 4 in, 4 out, 2 in, 6 out, whatever combination you want to have. You can also get Avid Streamio with 2 channels and Avid Streamio with 4 channels as well. And it supports a whole range of different formats and resolutions, going all the way from proxy, we can do multi-resolution recording, all the way up to UHD. But let's talk specifically about some of the new features which are in the latest release of Avid Streamio. And this really is where we begin to move Avid Streamio from the world of SDI recording and playout into the world of IP-based ingest and playout. And that's IP-based both for uncompressed IP, so video over IP, following the SMPTE 2110 standard, and also for compressed IP based ingest as well, and that's for SRT and RTMP as well. Now, the way that you access those things is actually very similar, because here in Avid Streamio, I have this option for what are called routing templates, okay? And if I select my routing templates, then on this system, I'm actually using SRT and RTMP. So you can see here I have this NetStream plugin that I'm going to be using. And then in here, I can go in and I can define a particular template. Now, all I'm doing here is I'm looping out of the output channels back into the ingest channels here. But if I select the template, then basically what you can see here is I have the stream address. I have some parameters here, so I can have listening mode here. And then below it, I've got the URL. So obviously the protocol we're using, in this case, SRT, but it could be RTMP as well. Then the host IP address, and then the actual port number itself. So it's pretty flexible and straightforward to do that. And then what you do on the individual channels is you would select to choose the particular route that you're wanting to do. So when you select the route, you then get the option of selecting, which of the routing templates that have already been set up. So the fact that it's template based makes it really, really easy for people to use. It's principally about setting up those templates to start with. You can, of course, add more and adjust them on the fly as you're doing things. But that's really one of the key things about Avid Streamio. It's really, really flexible as well. Now, if I switch over to another system, this system is actually showing SVIP, so this is the video over IP, and in this case we're using the RiverMax plugin, but you see it's very similar. I can choose different templates that I'm going to be using here, and again below you then have the SDP paths. Okay, so this is what you would use. Now on these clients that you have different settings, you have settings, for example, if I just switch across here, if I go into the Commander tab, you see there's settings for NMOS. NMOS, of course, is what we're using for discoverability of our IP networking. And if I go to the System tab, you will also see here that we have some PTP settings and also some PTP status settings as well. So these are the settings that you would need to configure and to use if you're using SVIC as part of your Avid Streamio system. But let me go back to the other system so I can show you a little bit more. So I mentioned there about routing templates, but we also have ingest templates as well. Now I'll select this ingest template. And what this does is, again, it allows me to create new templates. And again, I can select templates. I have a default one here. But if I was to go and create a new template, I can give it a name. So we'll call this one Big Demo, for example. I'm just going to create that. And then I have a whole range of different settings that I can choose. For example, I can choose a default duration. I could choose a default tape ID. And you can see here, we have a number of different parameters that we can automatically add if someone doesn't fill out any information here. And the same for the name. You can set up a default name and you can use these different parameters for what you want to do. I mentioned that Avid Streamio can do multi-resolution. So here you can see I can choose what my primary resolution is going to be. It's also worth mentioning here, as you can see, that we have a whole range of different formats, XDCAM 50, AVC 100, AVC Long G. We also have, DNX formats, DNX HR going all the way up to UHD as well. And it's worth mentioning on the DNX HD formats that we have, we can now do up to 1080p 5994. We can also do 1080p 50 as well. Okay, so just something to mention there on the DNX. But you can see with the DNX, we have the full range of different DNX codecs that we can use. So I could set up, a default for my high resolution, but I also then have the option for auxiliary media. So I can enable that. And this would then allow me to add in a proxy resolution. Now you can also see here we can have different wrappers. We can do OP Atom, we can do OP1A. We can also enable things like check-in if I'm working with a MediaCentral production management system. And of course, if I was doing this, then people are able to access and edit the video while it's coming into the main system itself. So again, these templates are really straightforward. They're good to get set up. And once they're set up, users themselves, all they have to do is simply choose the template that they want to have, and then all the settings are pre-configured. Now you can, of course, change things like the duration, you can change the tape ID, you can change the name, you can change all of these things as you kind of go, but it's really straightforward to actually use. So a couple of more general things just about Avid Streamio. Here I'm looking at all 8 channels, but I can specifically look at individual channels. So I can choose any of the different channels here if I want to focus on them, a little bit more. I could also quickly preview any of the channels just by hovering my mouse over the screens here. If I want to change the channel I'm looking at, I could go ahead and I could change the channel that I'm previewing here. Again, I can then go back to my 8-channel view again. There's also different views that we can have here. This is the kind of default view that we have for normal viewing. We have a compact view. See, it squashes everything down a little bit more, lets me see more of the inventory, and we'll talk about that in a second. We then have the small view. There's no video preview with that. We can also then change the view. So I have my channels at the left-hand side, and then at the right-hand side, I have my inventory and also my playlists. So inventory, that's obviously showing me all of the clips that exist on this particular video server. I can do a couple of things with them just to highlight here. Is I can choose to lock them, so I can prevent them from being deleted. I can export them out. I could also send something to a Playout channel. I could also do that as well. And I could also go in and I can edit this. I could edit the in and out points if I wanted to shorten the clip, for example. And then you'll see down the bottom that we also have playlists. So I mentioned earlier on that Streamio can do both ingest and it can do Playout as well. And one of the ways it can do Playout is you can build channel-specific playlists. And again, here for this particular playlist, I can choose to send this to a particular Playout channel as well. So here I've got some clips already in the playlist, but I can add more clips to it, just drag them, drop them down from the inventory. That adds them in, and then in the playlist itself, I can, of course, then I can move them around and I can rearrange them in the playlist depending on what my workflow is. Streamio also integrates with Playout devices such as MediaCentral Command. It can also be controlled by third-party, non-Avid Playout devices. So if you're using things like Studio Automation, it can also do things like that as well. So those are some of the key elements of Avid Streamio. Really, really flexible. Now going from SDI to IP, and IP both compressed and uncompressed IP. The use of templates for how you want to do ingest and how you want to do playout. A whole range of options from 2, 4, and 8 channels, and that ability to do playlists as well, and integrate with bigger systems for studio automation and things like that as well. So that's all from the demo of Avid Streamio just now. I'll hand you back to Dalia.
Thank you, Craig, for that demo. Moving along to some questions that we received ahead of time. So Martin, as somebody here is asking here, am I restricted to a single codec on each server?
Thank you. So no, actually you're not. As I kind of mentioned earlier in the presentation, you are free to use any of the supported codecs in any combination. We also don't really differentiate between input and output on the server. You could configure your server to have a combination of only inputs, only outputs, or any combination in between. You can switch these profiles between productions. So a server could be an ingest server in the morning and a playout server in the afternoon. And you can use whichever codecs you want to, whichever frame rates you need to, whichever format you need to, without being hindered in any way.
Fantastic. Another question I have here is, how can I control Avid Streamio for ingest and playout?
So we have several options. So first of all, there's a built-in remote console. Every Streamio has this remote console available, and this offers the ability to manage the ingest and playout of each channel. And there's also built-in playlists available as well. So the operator can always work from this environment if they want to. Now, on top of that, for ingest, we're supporting MediaCentral Capture, a classical application that we had that was working with airspeed and fastserve in the past. It's also supported by Streamio. We also have the newer MediaCentral Acquire. It's part of the MediaCentral Cloud UX environment. This also supports Streamio and can be used to manage and schedule ingests on the servers. On the command application side, we have MediaCentral Command. Again, widely available, well-supported, like long-running application from Avid that's used to control servers, graphic systems, etc. So this can also control Streamio. Finally, we're also supporting third-party GPIO and VDCP connections through devices from Moxa. So
Great.
really, customers can take a very flexible approach to controlling Streamio, as well as always having the security of a remote console that an operator can log into from any web browser and manage playout. And within that browser, the user also has permissions assigned to them, so they can only access specific channels and specific capabilities. So it's not a open for everyone console that could cause like potential production issues.
Thank you, Martin. Another question here is, does Avid Streamio support center playback?
Yes, we do. We're supporting center playback from Media Composer. It's a key part of production workflows, and it's there.
Fantastic. Can I use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit media ingested by Avid Streamio?
Yes, we always want to be as open as possible and to work with as many other production applications as possible. And obviously, while we're very happy when people are using Media Composer, a lot of customers like to use Premiere Pro, and you can use edit while capture workflows in Premiere Pro. We certified this for XDCAM, AVCI, and XAVCI workflows so that you can start to record on there. And while you're capturing this, you can start to edit this in Premiere Pro as well. And this was supported from, I think, the middle of this year.
Fantastic. And the last question I have here is, which SMT 2110 standards are supported, and what about NMOS?
So yes, we're supporting most of the basic SMT standards. So that's 2110 for the RTP, PTP timing, 211020. So we have the uncompressed video transport, we have traffic shaping, network delivery, the audio transport, and transport of ancillary data. Now, there are other standards that are being added all the time, and we'll keep looking at this. And whenever we see something that is going to be beneficial to the customer to have, or a customer is requesting, we're going to be enabling this as well. And that's one of the great benefits of a software-based approach, that we can add these to the system over time as the market demands it. We're also supporting 22-7 for redundancy. And on the NMOS side, we have ISO 4 and ISO 5 supported with the next release that we have coming.
Martin, before we end, is there anything else you want to call out, something that we might have missed that you think will be particularly interesting, or do you think we've covered?
I think we've covered pretty much everything we have today. Of course, if anyone has any follow-up questions, they should reach out to us or to the pre-sales team, and we'll be happy to address these for them.
Fantastic. So thank you, Martin, for that, and Craig, and thank you all for joining us today. Just to remind you, Avid Streamio, more information is available on the avid.com website. There are blogs, videos, just loads of content for you to see. And I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. And that's it for us today. Thank you.